today to give you some tips for your level 2 routine that's going to be judged this coming weekend. So what is the first tip? Confidence. You need to be confident. So once you walk onto the area that you're going to be performing the routine, make sure you stride on, your shoulders are back and you're confident. If you're going to come on and you're going to be really nervous and, I don't know if I can do it, remember that Helen's going to be watching that. She's going to think, they're not very confident, are they? So that's your first tip. Secondly, we're looking for your starting position and your ending position. But before that, you have got to present. So even though Helen isn't going to be visible, she's still going to be watching the video back. So you've got to present before confidently and after your routine has finished. Back to your starting and your ending position. So remember, those starting and ending positions have got to be dynamic and confident. So it's got to be something different. So different starting position to a ending position. And it's got to be a pose. So a standing pose or a sitting pose. You cannot do a balance. You couldn't start in a Y scale or an arabesque. You've got to start as in a pose. You can't start in a move. So you couldn't start in a handstand or a cartwheel or a forward roll. It's got to be a pose. So have a good think about that. Maybe look on YouTube and look at some gymnasts that have competed at the Olympics or the World Championships and see what the sort of things that they do. So into the routine. So that's the first difference of the level 2 competition to the level 1. It's a little bit more tricky because you've got to think about that starting and that ending positions, and then you've got your content of your routine that you can jumble up or you can keep in the same order as what Maisie did it on the previous video. So make sure that you've watched that. So I'm just going to go through the routine. Well, I'm not going to do all the moves, but through the routine, and I'm just going to give you a few tips on each move. So the first one that we come up against is your arabesque. So remember, always in a balance that your arms need to be at the side. Now with this arabesque, it's a little bit trickier because you've either got to swivel to arabesque or you've got to swing to arabesque. Okay, Maisie demonstrated hers by doing her leg come round to the side and then up into her arabesque. Now Maisie's wasn't perfect. You've got to try and get your leg as high up at the back as possible, keeping your chest up as high as possible. Remember, as soon as we dip that chest, that's when we start to go off balance. So your leg's got to be up really high, but you've also got to have your chest up. So just to demonstrate, arms to the side, confident arms, make sure you're focusing on something ahead of you. So your leg comes round and you bring it up to the back and hold it for 3, okay? Or you can do a slow swing through to your arabesque. So again, focus, leg up, swing under, and up you go. Try not to twist round and keep that chest up. So that's your first move. Next one, jump full turn. So what you've got to remember with your jump full turn, there's a couple of ways that you can do this, and I know that me and Maisie demonstrated 2 different ways. So it might be that you find it easier going from a standing position with your arms swinging high behind, so right up here, that's where your shoulder flexibility comes in, and you swing them up as fast as you can and you turn in your jump full turn, okay? Or you can do it as a step forward with your arms to the side, bring them down and swing them up to your ears, jump full turn. Now remember guys, even though Helen's not going to be physically watching you like we would do at a normal gym competition, she's going to be able to see on that camera view. If your feet are not all the way around and they're here, she's not going to count the move. So you've got to remember, you've really got to try and get those feet together and land them facing forward, which is you start forwards, you end forward to get that point for that jump full turn. I'm just going to show you if I don't hit the ceiling. So I step forward in mine, up and round. Sorry guys, I had to take my arm across my body just because I was worried I was going to hit the ceiling fan. So after each of your moves, make sure you do a nice big stretch. So you've done your arabesque, nice big stretch. You've done your jump full turn, Nice big stretch. Look up, chin up, confidence. Okay, so your next part is your round off. Now remember in the previous video I said to you there's two options and you can get a bonus point for rebounding out your round off into a stretch jump. Okay, so again you've got to make sure that you've got enough room as to wherever you're going to do it, and you're either step hopping into your round off with lots of power, or you're jumping into your round off again with lots of power. Get those arms swinging. Now for the rebound to count, as soon as you snap up, you're going automatically into your stretch jump. Okay? So that is where you can get your bonus point, is on your rebound. Okay, the next move, and remember to finish it off afterwards. You've done your round off, even if you haven't done the stretch jump, and you've stretched. Confidence, chin up, shoulders back. Okay, so your next part is your bridge. Now, I did have a couple of questions about this when we first released the video with the routine in. So remember, you can do it any way you like, apart from handstand to bridge, stand up. That's the only one that's a definite no-no. So, if you are just moving on from level 1 to level 2 and you can't yet drop back to bridge, that is okay. Do not worry, do not panic, it's fine. So you've got to get yourself onto the ground. So you've got to think about how you're going to arrange that routine so that you're on the floor. Go into squat, sit back, and you're going to push up to your bridge. Okay, so this is the beginner level for your bridge. You've then got to make sure your feet are stuck tightly together and your knees, and you're going to push your legs straight without moving your hands, because it's very, very important that your shoulders are over your hands. And as I tell you at gym, when we're normally in our normal sessions, those shoulders have got to be over the hands and your head is going to be sticking out like a little tortoise, okay, just coming out of its shell. That's what we're looking for, okay? Now, I know it can be quite tricky, but you've got to give it a go. So, first option, you've done your bridge, you've pushed your legs straight, you haven't moved your hands, your shoulders are over your hands, and you're going to drop down to the floor and rock to stand. Okay, or you're going to do a shoulder stand to stand. Up to you. Okay, your next option is that you can drop back to bridge, but you cannot kick out. So, with the drop back to bridges, you can do it with your legs apart, like so, pushing your hips forward and then dropping back to your bridge and then closing your legs in, legs together, push straight, shoulders over your hands, okay? But I can't kick out, so I can then just drop back down to the floor, okay? The advanced level, if you can drop back and you can kick out, what the judge will be looking for, what Helen will be looking for, is that your legs are together in your drop back, you're pushing your shoulders, you're pushing your hips out, dropping back to your bridge, legs together, push straight, shoulders are way over your hands, one leg comes in and you kick out with straight legs. Now it might be gymnasts that whilst you've been off and we've been in lockdown, you've managed to get your bridge kick over, okay? But that bridge kick over has still got bent legs. My advice to you, as much as you want to put it in, if it is not perfect, do not put it in. Okay, because you will lose more points by doing a kick over with bent legs than you would just be lower into the floor. So just think about that. And I know I've got quite a few gymnasts that are like, oh, I'm so happy I've got this move. But if it's a move that you've got while you're in lockdown, send the video to me separately and I'll give you a shout out because it will be amazing. Just don't put it in the routine if it's not perfect. Okay, so remember, you've come out of your bridge. You're either on the floor because you've pushed down to the floor and you've rocked down. Remember to finish that move off. Every move needs to be finished off. If you've kicked out, you're doing a nice lunge and you are stretching afterwards. Okay, so next one is one that we sometimes find a little bit tricky, is our two connecting cartwheels. So the main thing with this, guys, I know how beautiful your cartwheels are, but with connecting cartwheels, it means that you've got to keep your leg up in between those cartwheels to make it count. Once you get out of your first cartwheel, if your foot goes down to the floor and then you go into your next cartwheel, it's not going to count, okay? So when you come out your first cartwheel, you've got to keep your leg up, balance, swivel, then into your next cartwheel. cartwheel. Okay, that's your main point, because if you put your foot down after you come out of that first cartwheel, they will not count it. So be very, very careful. Come out your cartwheels. Again, nice big stretch. Okay, you finish that move off. Your next part is your backward roll to front support, and this is probably, it looks to be the easiest move in there, but I think it's the trickiest, because you've got to get some speed on this. So if you are planning to stick, again, if you've come from the level 1 and it's your first year doing the level 2, and you're going to do it as Maisie and me demonstrated in the previous video, so make sure you've watched that before you watch this tips video, okay? So you can do a backward roll to your knees, but you can't yet go straight to front support. That is okay, okay? So, I'm actually not going to demonstrate it. You've come out of your backward roll and you've come to your knees. Again, nice big stretch. You finished off that move into your front support, and there we go, okay? So you can just step up into your front support. Now, if you're at an advanced level, you've been doing the level 2 routine for quite a few years, and you now can do a backward roll into front support, go for it, guys. But remember, when you've come out of your backward roll, you've got to push that head cleanly off the floor with a flick to get into your front support for it to count. So you've got to be very careful. If you're quite slow and your head is still on the floor, then they're not going to count it as one move, okay? So you're better off going back to basics and go for the backward roll, stop, stretch, then into your front support, okay? Again, guys, remember that you can either do big stretch, hands down, sit and roll, or if you're at a more advanced level, step back, faster rotation will get you straight into that front support, okay? If you are at the point where you are been doing backward rolls for years and you can do it clearly, you can nearly go up to handstand, then you're doing your pike sit down into your back support. If you can pass through handstand before you get to your front support, even better, and I'm sure Helen will be going, wow, okay? So you want to do it as best you can, but remember, there is no problem if you're going to do it basically. It really isn't. As long as you make it look as nice and confident as possible, there isn't a problem, so do not worry. Okay, now this next one is the one that I've had so many questions about, is your splits. Now remember, guys, not everybody is down in 3-way splits. So that's why we always say towards 3-way splits, because we're working towards that move, okay? So if you are not down in your splits yet, don't worry. All I want you to do is get your legs as straight as possible. So for example, you've gone down to your splits and you're here. Try and lift up and have straight legs, okay? Remember that your back foot needs to be pointing outwards. I don't want to see any of this or any of this. It's always, the bridge of your foot is flat on the floor, okay? And you're trying to push down as far as possible. Guys, remember as well, if you are not down in your splits, don't put your hands up, okay? Keep them to the floor and try and make that position look as nice as possible. Okay, you've then got to go from your forward facing splits to your box splits straight away. So it's not 3 separate splits, it's 3-way splits. Okay, so with your box splits, if you're not quite down, go onto your elbows. Okay, don't want to see any of this where we're going like this. You're going down onto your elbows. If you're not quite down, but you're close, so you've got about that much in between the floor and your body, then what I want you to do is try and spread your arms out to the side, push your knees back so that we don't get any of this when you're down in your splits, and you're trying to get your chest on the floor and sitting in your splits. It might be that you're fully down in your splits and you can sit up in your splits like so. You're then rotating round to your last leg splits, and again, make sure the other leg that you're doing, that your foot is pointing outwards and it's nice and pointy and it's not to the side or underneath. Okay? Once you've done that, so you've gone come from your split, you're going to bring your leg round as straight as possible. What I don't want to see is you doing this when you come around, because it looks horrible. Okay, so you're bringing it around nice and straight, as straight as you can. Remember, lean to the side. Okay, you're then going into your shoulder stand and you're pushing to stand. Okay, that is your routine. Now, I have, as I say, done that in order. You don't have to put it in that order. Change it around, because personally I don't think that's probably the best order to do it in. Think about the things that are on the floor. So you've got your backward roll, you may have your bridge if you're just pushing up from the floor, and you've got your splits, and out of your splits you've got to do your shoulder stand to stand. So remember, all the floor bits need to be together and the standing up bits need to be together. After your routine, you present and you walk off the floor nicely. Guys, if you need any more help, or your parents thinking, oh, I don't know if she's doing that right, please just email me, and I've got loads of time on my hands, so I can give you as much advice as possible. What I'm just going to left to say is I just want as many of you to take part as possible. Do not be scared, do not be worried. We may not get a competition this year. I'm hoping that maybe we might be able to do something at the end of the year, but this will be such a good opportunity for you. And also remember, there are prizes, medals and a trophy for the winner, first, second and third place. So it'd be amazing to see lots of entries. Guys, good luck, and I will see you soon. See you later.